Hey, everybody. You know what's really exciting? Well, it's 2022, that's for starters. It's our 351st podcast episode. That's pretty amazing. And it is time for a fresh start, a clean slate. And that's what we're talking about today, so stick around. You're listening to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast.
Welcome to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast. And now your host, Meliss Jakubovic.
Okay, today we are talking about the new year and what that means. And I'm not just talking about setting resolutions. In fact, I'm not going to talk about that at all. I want to talk about this idea of getting a fresh start. So literally anything that happened to you up until this moment right now in time when you're listening to this doesn't matter. I want you to energetically clear that so that you have a clean slate and you can be a powerhouse, the powerhouse that you are, that you know you want to be, so that you can achieve what you were meant to achieve this year starting right now. I don't want you to carry on with you all the stress from last year or all the things that didn't work out or all the goals that you didn't reach. Instead, what I want you to do is I want you to walk into today with this confidence. I want you to exude this enormous amount of confidence. You've got this. You have a business. You are ready to take it to the next level. And this year is your year. So I want you to think of the words fresh start. And you can think of that right now listening to this. You can think of that all month long. But the truth is, you can choose to think of that at any time. You can even think of that in November. It doesn't matter. You can think of that fresh start after something horrible happens or after you didn't reach a goal and you were very upset. Fresh start is this idea that you can just say these words and like magic, you can be transported into a new reality. You're making that choice to have a fresh start. And that can happen at any time. You can always tap into it and go, fresh start, and then move nicely, calmly, peacefully into that next moment or that next stage or that next chapter of your life. I love this idea of having a fresh start and being able to tap into that whenever you want. So I want you to take that away. That's the biggest takeaway that I could give you here. Also, because it's the new year, it's a really good idea to set some new intentions. Now, I set an intention at the beginning of every day. I also set an intention at the beginning of every week and the beginning of every month and the beginning of every quarter. So why not set a big, beautiful intention or several little intentions for the whole year? An intention is what you intend to do. It's not a goal. It's not an achievement. It's more of a mindset. It's a peace of mind that you're going to tap into. So your intention could be to stay positive through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, or your intention could be to finally figure out what you're going to offer at your signature program and just show up and be visible every single day. It's just an intention. This way, if something falls off the rails or you get sick or your kids are home or whatever, and you don't reach whatever it is you're trying to achieve, that's okay. You set the intention, it didn't happen, and guess what you could do tomorrow? Fresh start, set the intention again. I want you to also understand that when we look at the whole year, we usually have a very hopeful look. Wow, all this time ahead of us. But I want you to be able to piece this long time ahead of us into smaller bite-sized pieces of time. Because that way, instead of looking at the entire staircase, you can just look at one step, one in front of the other. So you don't need to know what step 4, 5, 6, 7, 100 is. You only need to know what your next step is. And so what I like to do is to divide my year up into quarters. So we have 4 quarters in the year. And I do have on my whiteboard in my office all 4 quarters, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and I put really big projects down on there. So I could already tell you what I'm going to be doing in Q4 of 2022. In fact, I could tell you what I'm doing in Q1 and Q2 of 2023. But that doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to do that. That's my big ultimate vision. But as I move through, things might change. My ideas might flip around a little bit. Or maybe something that I allotted 3 months for to achieve ends up taking 6 months. So just because you plan it out and you map it out doesn't mean it has to go perfectly. It doesn't mean that it has to be exact. It means that you have an idea. You can set your intention and you can move through that and just look at one step ahead and then reevaluate at the end of the quarter. Did I reach all of these milestones? Great, let's do the next milestones for the next quarter. Or did I not? All right, well, that's going to tell us two things. Number one, that we need more time to complete that. And number two, that we might need to push the projects for the next quarter out a little bit further. And actually, number three, it's going to tell us that maybe we stacked too many projects in. We were very, very hopeful, overachievers level style, and we decided, you know what? Maybe I can't do 6 projects all at once. Let's cut it back. So now the next time we plan a quarter, maybe we're doing 3 projects, or maybe we're doing 2 projects. Or if you don't have a lot of time and you're not working full-time in your business yet, maybe you're doing 1 project. Are you tired of trying to figure things out on your own and then finding expensive solutions online? Then I've got just the thing for you. Check out all of my business building and mindset kits. They're all $7 or $14, and they can help you take the actionable steps you need to get your business moving in the right direction. Visit learn.abundantstrategy.com to see the ever-growing collection of kits. Happy learning! But I want you to think in terms of quarters. So I want you to give yourself 90 days. 90 days in online business is kind of a magical number. Yes, it does signify a moment in time, a quarter, 3 months, but it also is the perfect amount of time to start a strategy, enhance the strategy, use the strategy, figure out what's not working and tweak the strategy, and have success with the strategy. That all can happen within 90 days. It's one of the reasons why my Marketing with Intention program is a 90-day program. And it's also why for coaches starting out who have no idea how long their program should be, I recommend 3 months because a lot of transformation can happen in that short amount of time. So what I want you to do is set the intention that you want for just this quarter. And I want you to take daily action steps towards it. And I want you to think of these 90 days as a sprint. So maybe you've been lally-gally-dallying, whatever it is, lally-dallying. I don't know, I make words up all the time. Maybe you've been doing that for the last several months and you're like, this is my year, this is my month, I'm going to get my shit together and we are going to do it. Pull yourself up and let's go. Well, I want you to take that momentum. And instead of thinking, we need to do that every day, 365 days of the year, and then you get burnt out, and then you get disappointed when you didn't reach everything you were trying to achieve, instead, I want you to think of running a sprint. Instead of jogging all year round and being steady, I want you to play a little mind game with yourself. And I want you to say, for the next 90 days, I am going to sprint. So I am going to do everything that I'm supposed to do. I'm going to schedule in what I would need to do and put it on my calendar. I'm going to show up every day, even if it's only for 1 hour, but I am going to move my business every single day because I am dedicated and I am determined to change my life. I am so determined to scale my business that I'm going to do whatever it takes. Now, to have that momentum and that energy and that excitement is sometimes hard for a very long period of time. But I'm telling you, if you can do it for 90 days, if you can be consistent for 90 days, your business will explode. This is literally what I did in my business. For the first 4.5 years of my business, I was doing okay, but it was just, just okay. When I was ready to really explode my business, it just took 90 days of consistent action like you're running a sprint. And then that momentum just kicked in. It's like I injected 90 days worth of momentum that lasted a year and a half. The 90 days of work that I did when I started this process ended up giving me 18 months of full programs, full client load, consistent income from 90 days of work. So if you know that the sales you have tomorrow come from the marketing that you do today and those revenue generating activities, is it worth it to you to show up and do those revenue generating activities? For me, the answer was yes. The next thing I want you to understand is when you're setting goals or when you're setting intentions or when you're mapping out your year, it could be very overwhelming. What I want you to focus in on is your be, do, and have list. We can call this a dreamscape, okay? I want you to set an intention, kind of like when you're vision boarding. I want you to set the intention, not just about what you have, because it's not about what you have. It's not about what you're getting. It's about what you want to be, who you want to become. I want to be this, so I can do this, and then I can have this. But you don't just have. You don't just have by itself. We all know people who have everything in the world, and they are still completely clueless buttholes. Having doesn't do anything for us. It's the being, getting into a relationship with your life, getting into a relationship and a partnership with your soul. What do you want to be? Maybe you should write down 3 to 5 qualities or words that describe who you want to be, how you want to be in this coming year, how you want to show up. Patient, loving, kind, anything like that. There are no rules to this either. So this is not a writing exercise. It's just bullet points. It's more of a thinking, feeling, getting into the emotions exercise. And you can dream as big as you want to dream. So you could say, in the coming year, I want to write down these 3 to 5 things that I want to do. Okay, that's your do. We had our be and now we have our do. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to travel to Africa. I want to serve hundreds of clients, whatever you want. And then the last one is, what kind of things do you want to have? What do you want to have? Part of creating your life is that there is no room for scarcity. So no matter what you dream up, it is totally possible, and don't let anything hold you back. Your dreams come from an abundance. They come from your desire. And you know that because you desire it, it means it's meant for you. That's the path you need to take. So don't hold back in your desire. I want you to have an abundance of dreams, creating that beautiful life for you. And the last thing I want to say as we go into this new year is keep a journal of your wins. I call it a wins journal. And every time something amazing happens to you, I want you to write it down. And amazing doesn't mean grandiose. It doesn't have to be so elaborate. It could literally be, this person I wanted to follow me on Instagram finally started following me. Or I got asked to be on a podcast. Or I turned down a prospective client that wasn't a good fit. Or I booked my first sales call. Or I actually closed a sale. All of these are wins. It doesn't have to be, I'm a millionaire. I made $50,000 this month. It could literally be, I took alone time for myself. But every single time you have a win, and I recommend you try to find at least one every single day, write it in your wins journal. And then in December, at the end of the year, you can open up your journal and go, wow, look at the amazingness that I am. Look at the amazingness that I have created. Look at the amazingness that I have accomplished. And then use that confidence as momentum for the next year. And also when you're having a hard day and sometimes technology's not working or somebody canceled and they didn't want to work with you anymore or whatever it is, maybe you got sick, you can open up your wins journal and feel really good knowing that you are moving your business forward. So may this year bring you everything you wish for and more. I'm here to support you. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for being here, for listening, and for listening to the 351st podcast. Now, if that's not a win, I don't know what is. I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast at www.marketingtipswithmeliss.com.
Hey, coaches and healers, it's time to feel supported in your business. Head on over to our free community to get access to my best resources for free. I'm talking marketing tips, business strategy, feedback, and so much more. Join now at magneticmarketingmastermind.com. See you there.